you bounce?
Make a call and then come back.
You're gonna take your books or?
No, we'll come back in.
So, hi, everybody. How's everybody doing? Yeah, I love small classes. They're like literally my favorite, right? Because it's a little more interactive. I get to ask you questions, you get to ask me questions. Here's what I'm hoping for, right? First of all, I hate PowerPoint presentations, so the fact that I did this for all of you means that I truly do love you, right? We'll use it as a guide, it won't be Bible, but I want this always to be more interactive. So from this standpoint, what are you hoping to get today's 1 hour investment of match?
Ways to follow up and get my answer made.
That's literally the class, right?
That's what I want.
Is it on the board? No. Okay. No. Okay. So ways to follow people to get them to furnish a response.
Yes.
Oh, well, I don't know you.
Dominique.
Dominique, yeah, Genzano,
Nice
to meet you. Yeah,
I would say how to kind of make the follow-ups my own. I feel like you get the scripts and they're kind of just like everybody can kind of recognize them.
Yeah.
I really want to find a way to just be myself in everything that I do. If I can follow.
got it, love that. Anybody else?
The non-pushy way of following.
Shockingly enough, I'm very non-pushy. I fuck off, like, I'm obnoxious, right? Just in nature, I'm loud but yeah, that is absolutely the way. How about adding value to your follow-up that has a call to action to it? Right? I'm also gonna give you my follow-up system that I used when I was selling real estate. And the fact that Andrew's in here, he's gonna see some similarities on how I follow up with agents who are recruiting, who we're trying to get a partner relationship with as well. So me in my role as well as Andrew, we are still in the lead generation business, right? We truly are. But I want you to think about, you don't have to say it out loud, what does that lead cost you? Right, in time, money, effort. The last thing that you want to do is once you gather somebody's information, you don't want them to just go by the wayside because your follow-up plan is lacking. So that's what we're really going to get involved in today, and we're going to focus on. Is there anything else that you were hoping to get out of today's class? Lewis? I'm picking on you on purpose, buddy. You were literally the first one here. Enjoy, everybody. It's the second time I pick on her today. I pick on her at 8 o'clock stroke practice today.
Yeah.
Was anybody else in there for that?
Oh,
No?
that was, you gave a lot of gems.
I appreciate that. I wasn't in the room. I heard everything. You heard everything? Yeah.
You gave a lot of gems, Frank.
I appreciate that, buddy. Thank you. Yeah. Anybody else? What are you hoping to get out of today's class? So we got effective ways to follow up, not being pushy, a true system, or as Leah said, how to follow up and get a response. The end of class. Right.
I always try to close deals. I want people to respond. I can work on closing the deal. I want people to respond to me.
But if they're responding, we
Yeah.
gave them enough value for them to have a call to action to respond to you. That's what we're going to talk about. I'm also going to give you my lead follow-up system as well. And there's going to be something in there that probably, I'm going to guess all of you are not utilizing or even knew about. And it's very ninja, it's kind of a little dirty a little bit, but it was a great way for me to stay top of mind without them even realizing I was doing. So before doing follow-up, mastering the art of real estate, follow-up to close more deals. All right, I'm sorry, I do have to put this up, the TCPA disclaimer. Warning, you must comply with TCPA and all other federal, state, or local laws, including B2B calls and text messages. Never call or send a text message to a number or any do not call list, and do not use an automated dialer or artificial voice. Pre-recorded, wow, I need glasses by the way, or that needs to be spell checked. Messages without proper consent, contact your attorney to ensure you're compliant and visit KW Connect, which is going away by the way. Page industry resource, DNC for more information. By the way, who gets like 15 to 20 like robocalls still on a daily basis? Bullshit, right? It's like total bullshit. Somebody's trying to get me to close a loan that I don't even know that I have. That's a weird one too. Here's the agenda for today. Understand the psychology behind effective follow-up, build and execute a personalized follow-up system. We're gonna do that together. Whatever's more comfortable for you. I'm gonna give you my plan, then we're gonna talk about what you think would work for you and your business. Overcome objections and build trust through communication. Ron had heard this, and so did Joanne heard this today. But one of the best objections I ever get that I overcome is, I'm just looking. Mark, how do you usually come over that objection? I'm just looking.
Was a great time to be looking and puts that through price range, and then tell them it's like this. I kind of don't get too pushy.
Yeah.
I just kind of say, listen, I'm just sending you some places and I'd love to chat in the future. And you're gonna get some information from me, are you okay?
Love that. So there's no wrong way to answer that question. Excuse me, except, okay, and then turn around and walk away or ignore them, right? So I love that you have that response, but I have a response that always allow me to take a step further and dig deeper. Okay? And don't be uncomfortable to ask questions, not only in here, but with your clients. Remember, there is a premium that you paid to get that opportunity, to get that lead. Whether it's from a center of influence, whether that came from a paid lead or an open house, there's a premium that you paid, right? So this needs to be followed. Whatever system you have, you just can't let it go by the wayside. Cool. Just a little bit about me. I used to be a former insurance executive, actually insurance nerd. I developed 18 different programs for 4 different companies. I own intellectual property on 2 of them, insured every lottery pick from 1999 to 2003. I know I'm aging myself. You can almost name any actor my age. I probably insured and with the client coverage for that one point. Started my real estate business in 2012. And sold 17 homes in my first year while I was on a team for $4.5 million. And I'm gonna be very honest and upfront with you guys. I kind of really sucked at first at selling real estate. My follow-up sucked, my lead generation sucked. I wasn't able to articulate my value. I sold 0 homes in the first 6 months of my business. And we getting really uncomfortable because I had a pretty successful real estate business, right? I used to do well. And my wife, by the way, we bully for sport in our house. Sarcasm is like our second language. My wife would say to me, hey, remember when we used to make money and now we make $0 plus my benefits? That kind of hurt a little bit, it really did. And then I really had to kind of get my act together. White line is me, gray line is industry standards, by the way. So sold 30 homes in my second year while on a team for 10 million. Yeah, but
Were you given leads during that time or no?
nope. Here's, okay, so full transparency. I joined my cousin's team. My cousin was in real estate 8 years before me. So my whole center of influence went to him for real estate services and everything. Even when I became an agent. Right, so I really had to get good with my lead generation, my follow-up, articulating my value. Okay? So how I built that, Ron, honestly, was just listed, just sold. And open houses, that they were my jams, like literally. So I was able to build my business that way. And then slowly people started realizing that I was in real estate. But my 3rd year in real estate, I did around 11 million and the team did 17 total. So out of their 17, I did 11. And I was like, all right, I want some equal partnership here, right? I don't know if he had some things that he was going through. Chris Manioli, great guy, probably one of the strongest real estate men in the city. He now runs Compass. He's my cousin. He's one of my best friends. He's godfather of my son. Really made Thanksgiving weird when I left his brokerage to come here because he was running Coldwell Banker at the time. But you know, just to kind of get a better understanding of where I was, like I built out my business and my team while on his team, and I decided to step away. As soon as I stepped away, I was able to grab one support staff person. I don't know if you guys ever heard of her. Her name is Sarah Cadman. I was Sarah Cadman's first client. for transaction management. Her and I built out her TC program together. So while I was doing that with Sarah, and then we started to add agents. By 2018, I was fully just focusing on listings and being an administrator and a team leader of my team as well. Came here in 2020, got suckered into this role in 2021. Thank God no one's recording that, but that's who I am, just to provide some understanding of, I used to sell real estate, usually at a relatively high level. How I did it was time blocking, and I always time block every day for follow-up, at least 1 hour a day. So this is basically when I'm coaching agents who are on my team, this is what we talked about, like, this is what your schedule should emulate or look like. At least a minimum of 2 hours a day lead generation, at least 1 hour a day following up with new or older leads. At least 1 hour a day of geo farming. I always do that at lunchtime. I would leave my office from 12 to 1, go to a neighborhood, and I would geo farm there. 2 hours of client work, and here's what that means: 2 hours of client relations, responding to their phone calls, their text messages, their emails, responding to offers as well, and there's private home inspections, all that. And then 2 hours of appointments. If I didn't have any appointments that day, guess what I was doing for the next 2 hours, Lois? I wasn't a big door knocker, but I was lead generating, yeah. Door knocking always felt, listen, there's people that do it at a very high level. I just couldn't do it. I just didn't feel right, especially in the neighborhoods that I was working. And I had 2 really unfortunate things happen to me. Like the first day I went door knocking, like, yeah, this ain't for me. I got kids, I'm not about that life. But there's exactly what my day looked like as a real estate agent. If you guys want to take a picture of that, you can.
What did you do when you were doing fun? You went to that neighborhood?
Yeah, dude,
You went to the restaurant?
that's a great question. I picked anywhere between 5 to 7 cafes, bars, restaurants. They eventually knew that I was a real estate agent, right? They would refer me business. I was giving them business every day, just me being me, walking into the room, getting to know them, getting to know about their lives, getting comfortable with them. Then, once they saw that I was with somebody else, they knew that was a client, right? And if they knew that I was with somebody else, I was paying, and hopefully they had something nice to say about me, which didn't always happen, but that's basically what I was doing. So that was my day from 9/11, lead generating. I know there's a couple PC people in here. I was lead generating with Bill Kelly every day. And another girl named Kelly Patricio, she's a $25 million agent at Polo Banker. That was my little group that we were lead generating together. From 11 to 12 follow up, and I would literally race out of my office to get to my car on Market Street, get on 95 South, and get to Durham Estates in South Philadelphia. Just so I could get there around lunchtime, because a lot of the places that I was going to, there was contractors, like a lot of those corner stores, contractors go and get their lunch, and I wanted to be there with them, right? I maybe pick up a lunch, maybe talk to somebody. I had 5 or 6 clients still to this day that are contractors that refer me business, I refer them business. And I all did that at, like, picking up deals at Jeannie's Market, at Nick's Roast Beef, at Homegrown Coffee, at Big Nick's Deli, like all places that you would think, Maddie, that would be little delis in South Philadelphia, right? So I wanted to be there just to meet with the contractors as well, just get some face time with them. Client relations 1 to 3, and this was very strict for me. I'll be honest with you guys. I was not answering phone calls, emails, looking at Facebook in the morning at all whatsoever, because then I'm done. If your client calls you right now, they have a problem, and they call you 8 o'clock, that's now your problem, right? And that's going to eat up my day. I would always set the expectation about communication. I would tell them, look, you can call me every day, Monday through Friday, from 1 to 3 o'clock, except on Sundays. Can't call me between 1 and 3, I'll probably be watching the Eagles game, but you can call me beforehand, right? You don't want to talk to me after an Eagles game, either good or bad. So from 11 to 1 on Sundays, I was doing client relations as well. And then you 3 from 3 to 5, hold on, listing appointments. Any questions on that? Cool, all right. We just spent about almost 20 minutes talking about that. But why does follow-up matter? So 8% of sales require 5+ follow-ups before somebody even thinks about doing business with you. Actually, there's a 7-10 rule we're gonna talk about. That somebody won't consider doing business with you unless they heard from you 10 times. 44% of agents give up after 1 follow-up. Why is that? Lee, why do you think that is?
It's 44%, sorry, I was about to say this, 44% of agents give after a follow-up.
Yeah, why do you think that is?
Because they don't, I mean, they're not seeing the immediate success behind doing one thing. It's not instantly gratifying.
I mean, you ran a pretty high performing team. Yeah. Why else could you?
I think because you don't know if you're chasing something that may not turn into anything.
It's a great answer. It's a great answer.
People might want to be like annoying,
Mhm.
scare them off.
Okay. How do we get that lead though? Think on me.
Maybe if it was like at a coffee shop and they were just being nice.
So if they express interest. It's funny you said that. They were just being nice. So me and the growth team talk about this all the time when we're setting appointments. Tom's been here, heard this for probably 4 years now. There's 3 reasons why people agree to meet with you. And 2 of them are really crappy. And one of them is they have no intention on meeting with you because they don't know how to say no. So it's easier for them to say yes and then stand you up for the appointment, right? That's really crappy, isn't it?
Before this, I'm bold enough to say no, it's a waste of time. Just say no.
The other reason is they're just looking for information to leverage information that you're giving them to use it against something else, right? The other reason is they actually do want to meet with you. But again, let's get back to it. I want to shift your mindset real quick. That is a lead that you paid a premium for, whether it was money, time, or effort. That should be 100%. It truly should be that 100% of you follow up because you owe it to yourselves and you owe it to that lead. I'll get out of mindset and we'll get into the actual technique of it, but you do owe that to yourself. So don't give up on it, truly, because we want to weed out to get to that person that isn't, because eventually they will be, right? There was an open house role play today and the person was just, I'm just looking. Right, well, they showed up to an open house for a reason, right? They're not just looking. They're in an information gathering stage. And you have all the information that they need. You truly do. It's the delicate, right, soft approach to giving it to them to show them that you build value. Common follow-up mistakes: giving up too early, giving up too easily. Well, we already know that we're not going to do that because we made a huge investment into generating that lead. No system or plan, relying on one method of communication. Who does this or whose family member does this? You send them a text message and they call you, right? That's weird, first of all. It really is. Think about how weird that is, that if you're texting someone and like a sociopath, you pick up the phone and call them. You just broke a different line of communication, right? Am I right? It's weird. Right? You invite them to other lines of communication.
Yeah,
You do it?
do that all the time.
You do it all the time?
I drive a lot sometimes.
What's that?
You drive a lot sometimes.
Yeah, okay, but somebody's texting you, right? And you just put, oh, I saw your text, but no, just stay in the lines of communication that they have. It doesn't have to be immediate, right? It just has to be responded to in a timely manner. Stay in the same line of communication for as long as they feel comfortable taking to that next level, whether that's a meeting or a phone call. Being too aggressive or too passive. I just heard 2 ways that we're too passive in our follow-up. What does too aggressive sound like, Tom?
Too aggressive, well, calling like 3 times a day.
Yeah, by the way, I officially reached that age that if somebody called me 3 times in a row, like back to back, and they call me a 3rd time, I answer the phone and it's a conversation, it's not really usually a pleasant one. It really isn't, that's too aggressive, in my opinion. It truly is. Also, a call to action without no value would be too aggressive as well. Sign as buyer's consultation. Why would I submit a legal contract with you right now? You showed me no value. So. Here is a set in touch rule. Any questions on that before I move forward? No? Cool. So here is a set in touch rule. It's essentially a marketing principle that takes 7 touches before someone will basically make a decision to want to work with you or respond to a call to action. That's okay, but let's make it in real estate terms. That's cool with that. Here's what I would do when I got a lead. My initial contact, either call or text or email on day 1. So it just said open houses as well as just listen, just call, just sold were huge for me. They truly were. Open house, text message or email. I usually wouldn't call them. I just said thank them. Hey, Kate, thank you so much for stopping by 1430 Parrington Street. I really appreciate you stopping by. Just curious, I have 2 questions. 1, what you think of the house? Number 2, what did you specifically like about that house? What feature? Something that very generic. I would also, if I had their email or their regular address, I would send my handwritten note. I would always try and get, especially on online page, you do have a tendency of getting their home address. Or I flat out ask them, hey, we'd like to send a free gift over, just as a thank you. I would send a handwritten note. Raise your hand real quick if you're sending handwritten notes after you meet a prospect day 1. This was a force multiplier in the business as soon as I started doing it. My penmanship, I look like a serial killer. It's not great. I would be really happy if this was my actual handwriting. But it's the thought that they saw a handwritten note from me, thanking them for their time and looking forward to building a relationship with them. Andrew, do we do this for recruits?
Yes. And I also like video messages as well. Anything that's different than. Average person video.
So the person that you canceled on. Okay. Did they ever send you a handwritten note? No, if you got a handwritten note after you didn't show up, you ghosted them, would you feel bad? Yeah, there's a reason why we do it, there's a psychological reason why we do that, to make you feel bad for standing us up. Again, I invested a lot of time and energy and resources in you as a lead, and now you're standing me up, right? It also shows that you're just a little bit more professional than everybody else. So whatever you need to do to create separation from the next agent, you want to be able to do that. Email with resources, aka something of value. Hey, Dylan, what's up, buddy? Christina Brickley, what's something like that big? Something of value or resource?
If it's a buyer, maybe some other listings in the area with open houses that they might want to check out. I have like a buyer, like a packet, like here's the steps of home buying, for they're a first time buyer, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's actually perfect time. Dylan just walked in. We had a very similar situation where a buyer was being very unresponsive.
Mhm.
And Dylan came to me, he's like, hey, what's a unique way that we can follow up to get them re-engaged? Dylan, you got 30 second thoughts?
No, you're good.
What did you send them?
I just did, ever since I got here, the one thing I've learned with business, is just following up with value over and over and over and over again, doesn't matter what it is. It could be a house that's for sale at a different price point, it could be homes that are just like theirs, it could be the mad days on market, it could be whatever, but their problem was with this buyer is they're looking at a very, very competitive area of Philadelphia. Problem they're running into, they're looking for a very, very specific home, a very, very specific market with that was in a very, very specific price point. So what I did was, after we had lost, I'd say 3 or 4 offers to this point, they're banging their heads against the wall. As a agent, I'm banging my head against the wall. They are losing focus, losing faith, losing everything. They've been looking for almost a year at this point. Still, right? So I sent them a market report that had all data of closed sales from spring 2024 that were closed from literally everything they're looking for. I took the price point out of it. And from what they were looking at, there were about 10, 15 homes that sold. However, only a third of them, ones in the budget they were looking at. So basically what it rang home to them was, I knew what I was talking about. I wasn't full of it, and thankfully they took that, agreed with it,
Mhm.
data, and now we're under contract now. Now we're out again.
And what's the price point? Not that it matters, but.
Well, it could be in any price point what I'm talking about, I mean, but this one, I mean, hey, I mean, it was 1.2 million. And this one was, I mean, oh god, I was looking for them for a year. But, no, I'm happy, I'm happy that I did that, following up with value is definitely helped my business. Right.
It's another way.
Yeah,
It's a great way, it's a very analytical way, and you probably understood who they were and what their personality was. That they needed to see some data behind their decisions, right? And
Yep.
also knowing who your clients are. Who's done number 4 before? Added their name, email, or cell phone to their business.facebook.com account. Does anyone have that? No? You have one? You guys know this is available through command? When it asks you to link your Facebook business page. You can literally set this up through command. The second biggest reason why I came here is when I was a Coldwell banker, I was running my own ads through Facebook. I was paying anywhere between $500 to $1,000 a month on campaigns. I came here, I spent $150 and was getting better results. Keller Williams, not this isn't an ad for Keller Williams, but Keller Williams has a strategic partnership with Meta that we have preferred pricing. We're the only real estate brokerage that has that. Here's what this does. And by the way, I'll add them to the neighborhood nurture afterwards. But I have their name, their email address, or their cell phone number, right? I add them to my database or my Facebook, my business Facebook account. They now see every ad that I run until they opt out. I do this for recruiting now, sorry. Anybody that sees my story, I can put their name in and I put it in my Facebook ad, so they can see all my stuff. Sometimes you're seeing the wrong things, like I sold one watch to a guy I've been trying to recruit. By the way, it's my passion, I love selling watches, but I tried to recruit, he was like, I'm not coming to your brokerage, but I'll buy one from him. Which is reverse, that wanted to happen. But you have this set up already through command. I'm not asking you to dive in fully to command, but if you don't know how to do it, there's videos, and we have a guy that we pay full time. It's our market center tech trainer, his name is JP. We'll show you how to do it. You know how many ads I ran and I got great success on? And I think it's in our old resource library. I taught how to get listing leads through Facebook and Instagram ads. By the way, real quick, Rod, you're not allowed to answer this. John, you're not allowed to answer this. Who's the main in traditional partnership, traditional marriage, husband and wife? Who's the decision maker on who buys the next property? The first one. Good, Max. You get ready to say it. Go ahead, say it, Maddie. You don't know? Say it louder.
So why?
People agree or disagree with that. Say it louder. 1,000%.
I'm going through it right now.
You're going through it right now. Look at me, right? Real estate agent, investor. I moved 195 steps away from my old house that had 10 years left on my mortgage to my new house that was like a huge renovation because my wife wanted to live up the Christmas block in South Philadelphia. You think that was a decision I made? No, not at all. Where are women hanging out? Home buying ages 25 to 49. Where are they hanging out, Liz? On social media. You don't know? Instagram. How do women buy off of Instagram?
They search everything on Instagram.
They'll buy, their call to action will be on swipe up stories.
Oh, yeah.
Command and Facebook allow you to do that. You can run a $50 budget. Split it between 25 on Facebook, 25 on Instagram. And just literally retarget people that you met at open houses and send them information on first time home buyer or the neighborhood. And they're going to see your ad there, and they're just, you've already touched them 3 or 4 times, and now they're seeing your ad on social media. Bears a little weight of credibility to who you are as a professional. Do you know that, Maddie? No? So. Learn how to do it through command. On top of that, how many emails go out to them on Neighborhood Nurture Smart Plan? Anybody will take a guess throughout the year? It's 24. So now they're getting 24 emails from you 2 times a month. That are soft approach, that are touches, that's automated, that you're sending them just listed, just sold, neighborhoods that they're looking at. Ooh, I'm sorry about that. Personal favorite, on videos. I got this idea when I was working with Sarah Cadden, that she was gonna be my transaction manager and conveyancer. That I had her do videos holding up a sign saying, "Hi Martin, it's Sarah, open me." You could track that video as well. But for you as real estate agents, how powerful would it be if you sent them a bomb video with a quick minute and a half market update on properties and neighborhoods you're looking at? You can see how many times they open it. You can see when they open it, how long they watch the video for. It's $40 a month. There's other cheaper ones out there right now. I'm not aware of them. I still use BombBomb. Now, after all that, on day 8, a text message with a call to action, not a phone call, not an email, a text message with a call to action. What would be a really good call to action after 6 touches? Anybody want to take a guess?
Phone call.
What was that?
Phone call.
No, text message. Yeah, for invite for a phone call. Thank you. It didn't register that for a second. Invite for a phone call. Great one. What else?
Or time meetings, like in person, like coffee.
Buyer's consultation meeting. How about touring? Love you guys are shaking your head too. Jerry, what do you got on this? I haven't picked on you yet.
Well, I just walked in, but what are you asking? What do you want me to comment on?
Text message for call to action for follow-up.
So for me, I'm going to go more kind of the leader route, and after this amount of time, I'd love to sit down with you and learn a little bit more about what you're doing.
How about, has anyone sat down and talked to you about the home buying process? It's a great call to action. And then if they don't respond to that, I'm calling them the next day. And if they're ghosting me,
Wisdom.
I know that I have them on a neighborhood nurture, and then I'm gonna add them on a 12-month follow-up plan. But within the first 10 days, they're getting 7 touches from me. And marketing experts are saying it takes anywhere between 7 to 10 touches for somebody to make a decision that if they want to buy it. Gotcha.
So I like this story, and I think we talk about it all the time. And it's the KW thing in Colorado, where we went to a development, but they asked, had a fake family to ask who they would refer to real estate services. No one gave it a name, so we made up a realtor and connected with every family in that development 8 times. And that's what we would call the 8x8. And then went back, had another family go through and say who we worked with. And it was the realtor that had followed up, the fake realtor that had followed up and connected with all of them 8 times. It was just burned into their mind that this is who you can work.
The company is out of King Prussia, right?
Reminder media?
Yes.
Yeah, I think it was with my movie, yeah.
Cool. Any questions on that? At all? No? Cool. What are some of the common objections you got for follow-up? Martin said it immediately, just looking. That literally is one of my favorite. And if you want to take a recorder out in video or record how I overcome that objection, it has won me a lot of appointments. Okay, so we'll say, Tom, listen, I hear that a lot. But what it sounds like is you're in the information gathering stage, correct? Cool. I have a lot of tools and resources that can make this stage a lot more fun and interactive. I would love to invest 20 minutes with you to learn about you and your goals and talk to you about the home buying process. That's it. Really hard to say no sometimes. It truly is. And if somebody does say no, thank God, I can move on. I put them on a drip campaign and then move on from them and go to someone who's ready, right? I also have 6 month, over 6 month drip campaign that they're not like literally ready. Their credit's jacked up. They don't have down payment money. They're waiting for grant money to come in. I have a 6 month program that I put them on, but this is for immediate right now. Just looking, not ready yet. Tell me more. Why are you not ready yet? Because sometimes in their head, they made up a narrative in their head that they can't buy a house. How many people, agents have, not agents, clients have you talked to that said, I need 20% down to buy my first home? You know where they heard that bullshit?
Yeah.
Your parents.
From their grandma, their grandpa, their parents. It's just not true. Dig deeper. Just because somebody says they're not ready, there's a reason why for it. Dig deeper. Tell me more about that. Why do you think you're not ready? Go those.
Well, it's kind of like perfect. That's what we provide value. Why? Then not knowing they're not ready yet. That's like, oh, well, let me get you ready. Figure it out.
Yeah. I'm going to wait until the market comes down. I hate to break it to you. Yeah, yeah. Remember who I said the main decision maker is my house? My wife. It 100% is. I was very romantic her last birthday. She said, you have to be very literal with me sometimes. She sent me a flyer that says, I want to take this cooking class with you. I think it was at 16th and Market. It's like, learn how to cook like you're in the Amalfi Coast region. So I'm being romantic, that's what I did. I bought 4 tickets to Italy, booked a class in Amalfi, actually in Sorrento. My wife's a planner, and she's like, oh my God, what did you do? Oh my God, what did you do? I was like, okay, so here's all I did, right? I got the tickets and I booked a class. I want to spend some time in Rome. My last name is Genzano. There is a village out about 45 minutes outside of Rome called Genzano di Roma. I wanted to spend some time there for the flower festival. Booked it all around that time, right? We're also looking to buy a second property on the shore. That decision to go to Italy instead of buying my shore property probably cost me $150,000. Use that story. But you properties down there are skyrocketing. Like I bought in Wildwood. I don't want a Back Bay in Wildwood. For what I paid for back there, I could have been beach block this time last year. Truly. So what other common objections are you guys hearing? Let's role play. Go ahead.
I've got a couple that I met at an open house on Sunday. So I'm 3 touches in with them. The one loved the house, wants that house specifically, missed out, the 2 of them missed out on another house in the development. And the one is like, Jesus is talking to me and we need to buy this one. The other is like, I don't know if this is the right time. And I'm like, okay. He says, oh, I don't know if it's right for us. So I asked him, I said, well, what is it about this house that you're questioning? He said, it's not the house. I like the house. I just don't know if it's the right time for us right now. The other one's like, no, Jesus is talking to us and we're getting this and we need it. So I've got a couple that like, one really wants it and wants to move, and the other one's like, I don't know what to do.
Who wants to tell her?
That's a relationship thing.
That's a relationship
He
thing.
wants out.
That person does not know.
Pretty good.
Yeah, I'm gonna get deeper into it.
Yeah. They got the house,
They have a house already. They need more space.
okay. What Andrew and what I'm getting ready to say is that person cannot envision making another major purchase probably with that other person right now.
Okay.
There's nothing you can do about that.
Until they tell
What do
me
you think of
no,
that?
So,
until they tell me no, I'm working on this.
Okay, keep working, seriously, keep
I'm
working.
working it until like somebody tells me no.
Say something different.
you first, you go. I'll go ahead.
Alright, so there's two parts, they are right, it is a relationship thing. And I am very, very big on being like, hey guys, I just wanna make sure, are we on the same page at this moment? But my second call to action with that would be, so can I just ask you a quick question? What is the right time to buy them? And get that answer from them?
Isolate that.
When my husband stopped snoring, I was sleeping in the other room. I don't know that.
I have that too. But, and then I know where to find them. House of the dungeon.
Yeah.
So, but so like, that's where my head is going, is that where you were going?
So essentially, I would say you isolate that so you can figure out exactly what the true objection is. And the other thing is understand what their goals are. I'm an emotional person. And people tell you I like making cry. So I want to know what is the reason that you are not taking that move, or what is it that you actually would want to do? And then I'm going to get you to realize that, hey, you could be delaying that. You could never have that. Hey, by not buying this, you never know how that affects your relationship. You might get divorced because you don't want to buy this house. Now, I'm not going to say it. I'm getting them to say it. But it allows you to figure out what's going on. And it also allows you to be able to create the urgency or close an urgency gap.
Yeah, well, I worked on urgency when the one tells me that there was a house in the development that had already sold and they wanted it. So they've already asked me for my letter of recommendations and an inspector. So we had that conversation like before they left. I sent them everything. So we had the first conversation at the open house, sent them a follow-up email and then the text message, hey, I sent you the email and I got a bunch of thank yous.
Are they move up buyers or move down?
Up,
They move up buyers,
they're moving up
okay.
because they had like, just.
Is the one that says we're not ready right now, is that the person who's driving? In the.
I don't know yet.
Okay.
I
There
don't know
might
yet.
be, also, it just popped in my head, there might be some uncertainty about his job.
Mhm.
Especially this.
Big one now. Yeah,
Who's the decision maker?
Again,
It sounds like it's that person.
who's a real decision question.
So there's one that's like, let's go, and the other is like, he's ready to go, then, let's talk.
Okay. Alright,
I don't know if it's the right time for us, but he's ready to go, and that's what we got, so I'm thinking like, one is no, we're doing this.
I'm dealing with that right now, well, not to shout out my family, but my brother-in-law and my sister. They live down in East Passyunk and my sister-in-law is like ready to go, because they have twins. However, and they'll show me houses, however, anytime it gets real, the brother-in-law, well, the husband is the one that kind of like in that scenario, go, oh, I don't know if it's the right time to look right now. And that's where like, hey, listen, I'm still a fan member, so I'm like, I'm kind of threading the needle here, but,
true, yeah.
But yeah, no, you're right, I mean, asking the right question.
In my opinion, it's understanding what is it that they get to accomplish when they make that purchase. And is
Yeah.
that important enough for them to be able to take that next step?
Yeah.
What other objections you guys getting right now?
I have a lot of my first time buyers are like just trying to decide in the economy, like, am I getting married this year or buying a house this year? So it's like, and I mean, that's fair. So I'm like, my timeline is your timeline.
Yeah. So that's great, right? Use my scenario of me waiting, how much money it costs me.
Yeah, I just said, just have brunch wedding in your new house. I mean, like, you gotta get married, a baby or a house. Like, what are we thinking?
You get married in the house.
Yeah,
Okay.
and it's,
Yeah.
the market's changing, correct, is this Philadelphia buyer or suburban buyer?
I'm gonna feel like, yeah,
Yeah, the Philadelphia market's changing, it's getting more and more competitive now.
it is.
Yeah,
It is.
it's not the way it was, in March of 2022, when it just felt like all the air was sucked out of the market. It's been a slow build up, right? So it's going to be a little more difficult, increasingly difficult, especially not today. I don't know what happened to interest rates, just shot back up again. But if interest rates keep like gradually coming down, you have to continue to inform them and let them make an informed decision. Yeah.
I kind of remind them, I always go back, in January, these rate or 7.5, right?
Mhm.
They're like, really? I'm like, yeah, 6.6. And everything happening, what happens when employment goes up, it's like the interest rate's gonna drop. So if you buy now, you have an opportunity to get at a lower rate, and you get a free refinance too. So it's kind of like, why not get it now, then refinance maybe at 5.5? It's like, that kind of moves them ball.
Yeah, smart. One more objection you guys are getting, we'll move on. Curious.
Well, people that are getting discouraged because they've already lost two offers.
Yeah, well, depending on area, yeah.
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 Buyers of Elvis.
That was my buyer.
So, one of our closest friends,
I'm very catching,
Yeah.
that's what I'm fighting.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's another. Manager is the overflow right now from Reddit. I mean, manager's lost, but of course, be everything there.
one of our close friends, she's a Remax agent, I hold it against her a lot. But she's grew up in Remax. They're following us down the shore. They lost out on 4 properties. She's a real estate agent. And the first one that they really wanted, that they got discouraged on, was a difference of $5,000.
Wow.
And it's $14 a month in mortgage payment, is what I told Sherry. Like, Sherry, you're not thinking clearly here, right? Just tell them that you'll accept the offer. This is the house you really want. Don't allow $5,000 to get away your decision. She didn't listen to me. She went back and negotiated $2,500 instead of $5,000. New Jersey is an attorney review state, right? What do you think happened?
They said another offer on trying to review.
Yep. So, I hate that state so much, I really do.
Yeah, but that could happen here, right?
No.
No.
If you're negotiating, right?
No,
You have
this
to
is after
execute
the
a
contract,
agreement.
after you agree to the contract, it then goes to attorneys to be reviewed, it's already agreed upon and signed.
So, but what I'm saying, your client, right, you submit an offer for that, took you a long time to convince them, right? And they're negotiating and they're being difficult, during that time, another offer come in, don't take that offer.
Yes, the only difference is there, it's already been accepted, you've already signed.
So the reason why probably they're losing out on multiple houses, because they're not realistic about what their offer is in a competitive market. So you have to help them with that.
Thank you.
We're gonna wait till the fire truck goes by.
No.
Let's reframe some rejections, right? Ask better questions, tell me more. Tell me more about that. Build rapport over time, get to know them, their situation, what's going on in their lives. Their kids, their family, who truly are the decision makers. A lot of younger buyers pull in mom and dad and stepdad and stepmom and brothers, sisters, aunts. But also stay top of mind with them. You're going to get rejected, right? Reduce or remove the fear of rejection. Fear of failure is, listen, no one in this room is scared of failing. You're real estate agents. What prevents really good people who are smart from being successful in this business is the fear of rejection. They can't get past it. They're agents, they were agents of ours, they were a husband and wife team down in Delaware. And the husband and wife just were petrified, paralyzed by fear of rejection. They're out of business now. And it's sad because they've been in this business for a really long time. And something happened in their life personally, and it was just something that they took personally, right? The fact that you guys are here investing an hour of your time to learn about this, I know that you guys aren't fearful of rejection, but once that starts to creep in your head, know that that can make you homeless, can make you alone, can make you stuck. There's a lot of things it can do for you. fear of rejection. Easiest way to do that, stay top of mind stuff, ask more questions. And guess what, sometimes that's the right people for you to work with, move on to the next one. But this is when you're truly exhausting really the leads, Andrew.
But also for the long-term nurture as well, the deeper you get into those questions, the more you really get to know somebody. Like those first-time homebuyers might not buy for another year, maybe even two. The deeper the relationship is with them, like we can't get them to decide when they're gonna buy or sell.
Right.
We just get closer to them in terms of the relationship. So when they do make that decision, like, it's top line. It's a no-brainer. She's like, I'm a good friend and also our real estate professional.
What about soft closes? You guys practice soft closes with would or could? Could I share with you? Okay, Liz. You good now? You ready? Yeah. Invite action without pressure, right? A soft. Invite action without pressure, right? How could you invite action without pressure? Josh can't answer this, but.
I propose
What is it?
it, I propose it.
What's that mean?
So side door closing is what or if, meaning what would it look like if we were able to get you an executed offer on 123 Main Street?
Would it be helpful if I sent you more information on recent comps on that house? Soft close in real estate is a gentle, non-pushy way of guiding a potential client or buyer toward making a decision without coming off as salesy or aggressive. Using words like would and could helps create a sense of possibility and openness, making the other feel more comfortable and in control. So would it be helpful is a word and phrase I say often. Truly.
Would you feel more comfortable? Yeah.
You literally giving them a sense of control, right? Remember, you're just an educated advisor helping them do this decision. Any other questions on this? So we got 7 minutes left. I don't want to be respectful of your time.
Right, I was gonna say, the closes, if you would like a little bit of help with that, shift book, page 101, it has examples of all the different types of closings, depending on the situation you're in. You can use those to practice those, and I think 1 or 2 is a song.
Yeah.
So,
I think I have an extra one if somebody wants one. Right.
Yeah, I was gonna say with the soft close, would it really matter, like who's in front of you? Like their type of personality, like their personality type, so.
Doesn't matter what this profile they are. You are giving them control back in the decision to move forward. Would it be helpful? Could I share with you whatever that information is? I'm a driver. I mean, to the core. I'm also an analytic, which is I'm an asshole and I'm going to make an educated decision based off of information, right? I know the way I get it, Kate. You know, I'm not an easy person to work with. I know that. Go ask my lender about that, but on the deal that we just did. It doesn't matter who it is. I actually want that as a driver, right? I want the sense of I want to continue forward on my terms, and that's what that does. All right, Q&A. Andrew.
About this, so everybody always wants to be told what they do as well. This wouldn't be considered a soft close when you tell them, so here's what we're going to do next. Here are the next steps.
Right.
That's not.
No,
classified as-
here's what we're gonna do next is you have an agreement to move forward. And now you are helping them with the process. You're still making them feel in control, but here are the next steps is I literally just got the chills saying this. It's you have an agreement in place that you guys are moving forward. We're gonna move forward on writing this offer. Here are the next steps. We're gonna move forward with accepting this offer on your house. Here are the next steps. Yeah. It's a great question. Tom.
Do you ever adjust your follow-up strategy depending on someone's like attitude or personality? And if so, are there any like specific cues that help you understand how to like appropriately go along with following up with them? Or you just
Yeah.
kind of stick with it?
So, I said I'm a driver, right? I want information quick and I want it to be direct. I'm also an analytic, right? And I want numbers to help me make an informed decision, right? So you're gonna know that just by asking them questions and having a conversation with them. There's angulables, they have to like feel it, right? Everything has to feel right. I'm walking in this house, this yellow wallpaper makes it feel like home for me, right? And then there's really kind of the social person that's really gonna talk your ear off. By the way, they make the best referral partners for you, really do. They'd be the best or worst for you. If you do wrong by a social, it's really hard to recover from that. So you'll know that, right? If you ask very open-ended questions, and it could be something about, if you're on a list, going on a listing appointment, describe your home to me. And analytics go back, I put new central air in, so that should add $5,000, and, here we go. There we go. A driver, right, in that decision would be like, okay, there's 3 houses that sold just like mine in my development. They sold between 680 to 710, right? And annual is gonna be like, I just planted roses and I just want people come in, I just want to feel welcome and they're all. Like you can literally hear that on the phone and they're making those gestures, right? Social person, sit down, go put percolated coffee on, it's gonna be 45 minutes until they are done answering that question, right? So it's just knowing who you're talking to, knowing the information you should be sending them. The neighborhood nurturer, regardless of who they are on that personality disc, they're gonna get value out of information. You're gonna stay top of mind, you're gonna send you an email, they're gonna get it. But basically creating a response or call to action should be geared towards what their personality type is. Yeah.
You're totally right about that.
Yeah, go ahead.
You're totally right about that.
You did, you were like, you're just stretching.
Those people I was like talking about earlier, like they were very like cautious people. Very cautious people. Like I am a driver just like you are, and like I'm like, hey, like other thans and stuff like that, like, what's stopping you is the price, it's the house. I'm trying to, but I had to really like use the word comfort a lot with them. Comfort, and I slow it down, like this is what this would look like if you decided, you were looking at potentially writing an offer on this house, whichever is comfortable for you. I mean, just use that word a lot and honestly lower their guard. And once I matched them and met them where they were at, it kind of changed dynamic. Yeah. What?
You're using my words. You're using my words, I think it's funny.
Just have a question, so if you need a lead that's just like a new person in your life that you're gonna put in your database, just like, oh, I met you for coffee. Do you put them, or I met you at a coffee shop, do you put them on a neighborhood nurture? Like you just put everybody on them, even if they're not looking to buy it?
I don't deviate from that at all.
Okay, so any new person, whether you're looking to buy or sell, you will know so much about your neighborhood. I think it's great.
Yeah, neighborhood nurture there, but
Yeah.
like, so.
I get one myself, but I don't utilize that a lot.
Okay, so I literally follow every step when I would get a lead, regardless of how I got them, right? This is the format that I follow, right? Right or wrong, what it allowed me to do was freedom in my business, right? I'm a dad. I'm heartbroken right now. It's the first baseball game I'm gonna miss today in a really long time. And here's the reason why. It was a cancellation of the game that they're playing the 10th inning. The game could literally end that inning. I don't have to drive all the way up to Warminster and come all the way back, so he understands. But what this does, systems and processes allow me freedom to be a present available dad and husband, not work nights or weekends. So, yeah, it was very important for me to be disciplined in my business to follow the system. So if you're Joey Bag of Donuts contractor, Mason, and I met you at Jeannie's Deli at 15th and Shunk, and we were talking about your chicken cutlet sandwich, I'm like, oh, yeah, I'd love to be able to refer business to you, I got your business card
Mhm.
in the system immediately, yes.
How do you keep track of every person? And
Um,
what step you're at?
CRM,
Okay.
yeah, this is relatively automated for me now. It truly is,
I
yes.
mean, that works, I just sold some land to a developer, right? A contractor that literally followed for him months ago, and every time he just had conversation with me. And eventually, when he was ready, he's like, yeah, I'm gonna put it off and split it, I was like, oh, all right, no problem. And then, you know, the other flip is, you'll list it after it's built.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like that long-term approach, that stuff does work.
Joanne, let me go back to that, right? Yeah, right, that's a great point, but I didn't feel like I discounted my answer. You could set up the smart plan to do these steps for you for lead follow-up. And it will tell you exactly what step you are. You'll get the notification, okay, I have to send my handwritten notes now. Yeah,
How does it know what neighborhood they're in, follow up with property and?
yeah, it's like, so I'm getting more information, like if he's like the contractor, Genie's, I know he lives in Pepper Park, I know that's 19145.
Okay.
Immediately, I would ask them where you live, they would tell me where. I'm automatically sending that, if they're looking for houses in a certain neighborhood, I'm then sending them in houses on the neighborhood nurture. And that's a good feedback.
Are you just plugging that in command and command is just sending them, okay.
And they can update them as well, so like if they see something, they can click on it in their. Kelly, it's not Kelly.
It's not Kelly anymore,
It's whatever that thing is now, they can update it.
it's called command.
Command mobile, yeah.
Command mobile.
Yeah.
By the way, and this is not, I think everyone in this room knows me relatively well. I'm not a drink the Kool-Aid kind of guy. I'm not. So there's follow-up boss, there's top agent, there's a lot of systems you can use that have this as well.
Because I was doing like the MLS and just setting up this automated email searches like that way with references and stuff where I know they're looking. So that's my personal
At a very, to your question, one second. In a very young part of my career, I knew that the value of my business was the information in my database and the health of it. So the more information I had back, the better. It allows me to market to those people more aggressively.
Do you ask your open house guests to sign in with their address so you can send them a handwritten note?
No, because I'm sending them the neighborhood nurture where the open house is. They're looking in that neighborhood, so I'm sending it there. But that's a great question, because I approach my open house with asking a question. But Rod or Joanne, you guys would take a shot at it. What's the question I ask when an open house guest comes in? I said it this morning.
I find that there's two people that comes into my open house. Either you're looking for the value of your home or you're looking to purchase a new home. Which one are you?
That's the world of information that I need immediately. By the way, I was a horrible buyer's agent. I really was. And when someone told me they came to my open house, they're interested in the value of their home, I didn't give a shit about that open house anymore. That was a seller's lead for me. It really was. And I would almost shut down the open house and I'd get my laptop. I didn't care who walked in. I knew I had a listing lead upstairs walking through that house. And I made sure that when they came down, I would get their address. Like, okay, how does your house look compared to this one? What about these last 3 comps? I'd love to be able to come in after the open house, do a quick 20 minutes where to kind of give you a better assessment of what the value of your house is. Got 7 listings my first year from open houses, just taking that approach. I had 5 buyers from open house, and then the other transaction just came from like generic like COI. Somebody else had their hand up, I'm sorry. Good information for you guys. What did I miss, Jerry? Here's by the way, this is why I hate PowerPoint presentations. I've gotten more out of this talk in the last 10 minutes, just Q&A with you guys, than me droning through slides. So I'm working on that. I really am. But you have no idea how much it means to me that you guys came today, that you invested maybe 1 hour or 3 hours in education day Thank you so much. It really means a lot. Yeah, well, I'll send the slides out to you guys as well. I'll remember who everyone is here. Maybe not you since you ghosted somebody.